Imagine waking up to a beautiful sound of payouts hitting your bank account. Picture a world in which financial freedom isn't just a myth, but a reality. And you know what? You can make it a reality for yourself, and I'll show you how today. One of the ways to do it is by living off of investment dividends. Stay tuned as I'll share 3 quick ways to achieve that. Listen, it all comes down to your desired lifestyle and, of course, the numbers. The average guy in the United States spends around $67,000 a year, but that might not be what you're exactly looking for. So you can adjust that number based on your specific needs, wants, and the required level of comfort. For this video, I'll show you how to hit the target of $3,000 a month. First, let's talk about what a dividend is and how it works. Imagine that you own some stock in a company. When that company makes a profit, it can either use the profit to grow the business by way of reinvesting that money back into its business, or give it to its owners, who, in the case of publicly traded companies, are shareholders. When a company decides to share some of its profit with shareholders, this is called a dividend. Dividends can be given as cash through a digital payment or a check, or they can be put back into the company to buy more stock. Different companies pay dividends at different times, but most do it every 3 months. Okay, so that's dividends. Next, we have to understand what dividend yield is. Dividend yield is a way to compare how much you're earning from dividends in relation to the price of the stock. Dividend yield is different for different stocks, and they can even fluctuate for the same stock. Generally, more established companies offer higher dividend yields than smaller, newer ones. To calculate dividend yield, all you have to do is divide the annual dividends per share by the stock price per share. For example, your dividend yield would be 10% if your stock is worth $100 per share, and you get $10 in payments every year. You can compare different stock prices and make smart choices based on your goals and how much risk you're willing to take by investing in dividend-paying stocks when you understand dividend yield. For someone who wants to earn passive income, investing in dividend-paying stocks can be a smart choice. It's a way to build your wealth over time and live off the income generated by your investments. Let's now look into 3 ways you can make $3,000 in passive dividend income every month. The first way is by investing in covered call ETFs. This is one of the fastest ways to live off of profits. These special funds give buyers the chance to make money from both stock growth and dividend payouts. So how does it work? The ETF, or exchange-traded fund, buys stocks and also writes call options on those stocks to make extra money. Call options give the buyer the right, but not the obligation, to buy a stock at a certain price within a certain amount of time. When the ETF sells call options on the stocks in its portfolio, it gets premium income that is paid out as dividends. Also, if the stock price goes above the strike price of the call option, the ETF may realize capital gains. The yields on these funds are usually high. I'm talking double digits, and they are much higher than the yields on many traditional dividend stocks. Let's look at some of those 12-month historical yields. Global X NASDAQ 100 covered call ETF with a ticker symbol QYLD has a 12.6% yield. Rex FANG and Innovation Equity Premium Income ETF with a ticker symbol FEPI has a 25.1% yield. And Crane Shares China Internet and Covered Call Strategy ETF with a ticker symbol KLIP has a whopping 47.9% yield. The great thing about these ETFs is that they can earn you money from both returns and option premiums, making your passive income streams more safe and reliable. However, it's important to know that these ETFs come with some risks, because options may become useless or stock prices may drop, which would hurt the overall stock performance. Now, let's say you want to make $3,000 a month or $36,000 a year with the covered call ETFs. That means you'll have to invest roughly between $76,000 and $286,000 with these ETFs I mentioned earlier. That sounds pretty good, don't you think? Especially when compared to traditional dividend stocks, which have the highest dividend yield on average sitting at 5%, meaning that you would need at least $720,000 of your money invested to return $36,000 annually or $3,000 a month. So long as you are ready to take the plunge, this approach can help you make a regular income while requiring relatively little initial investment. Let's look at another way you can make $3,000 a month with dividends. For this one, let's say you put your money into special businesses known as real estate investment trusts, or REITs for short. REITs are companies that buy real estate properties like shopping malls, office spaces, and apartments. These companies earn money from rental income and share some of their profits with people who invest in them. If you want to make passive income from dividends, you should Google Two Harbors Investment Corporation, which has a dividend yield of 14.37%. Or you can take a look at Brandywine Realty Trust with a dividend yield of 13.42%, or Orchid Island Capital Incorporated with a dividend yield of 16.51%. These REITs have a history of giving their owners a steady stream of income through dividend payments. Historically, REITs have shown solid performance with an average annual return of 10.8% over the past 20 years. This means that investing in REITs can be a smart way for you to potentially grow your wealth while earning a steady income. But remember, while REITs can make you more money than regular stocks, they can also be risky when the economy is not doing so well. So how much do you need to invest to make $3,000 a month from REITs? If you expect to get around 10.8% return each year, you would need to invest about $333,333, but this number can change depending on whether you choose to put your money in different REITs or just invest in one. A good way for you to retire with REITs is to save and invest a certain amount of money every week and let the dividends add up until you reach your goal. With consistency and hard work, you might be able to become financially free in 5 to 7 years with this route. You should know how much money you need and what you want to accomplish. This will help you pick the best REITs to invest in and keep you on track over time. And finally, let's look at Dividend Aristocrats. Dividend Aristocrats are unique stocks that are part of a group of companies in the S&P 500 index. These companies have a record of increasing their dividend payments to shareholders for at least 25 years in a row. They're great investments for people who want to earn consistent passive income. Companies like 3M, Leggett & Platt, and Walgreens Boots Alliance are some of the best dividend aristocrats out there. These company stocks have close to a 7% dividend yield on average, which is less than covered call ETFs and REITs, but they are super consistent in paying dividends. Dividend aristocrats are known for raising dividends year after year. For a company to be considered a dividend aristocrat, its dividend payout must have gone up for at least 25 years in a row. Whether it's a good idea to invest in these stocks depends on your time frame and how comfortable you are with their level of risk. Dividend aristocrats come from different sectors, but they all have some things in common, such as a steady record of increasing dividends. These are well-established companies that have grown over time. They're usually so large that they are least likely to be acquired by other companies. They also tend to do better during tough economic times, which helps them make consistent profits. So how much do you need to invest to reach your goal of earning $3,000 per month with Dividend Aristocrats? Based on a historical average 7% dividend yield, you will need to invest at least $515,000 to reach your goal. When doing so, you should spread your investments across multiple dividend stocks to minimize risks. If you're not sure where to look for investments that could make you passive income, click on this video on the screen where I show you the top 7 monthly dividend stocks that will pay your rent.